Hey there. Thanks for joining us. This is the release episode of The Money Nest. Welcome to our first show in what's going to hopefully be a long series of episodes to help you save money, make money, and of course, appreciate money. With that said, and without further ado, let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to The Money Nest, your source to not becoming a financial liability. You will learn how to become fiscally responsible, save money, and grow that nest egg of yours. The Money Nest is proudly sponsored by A1 Bookkeeping Services, serving small to medium-sized businesses with bookkeeping and providing tax services to people just like you. You can find out more info about them at a-1bookkeeping.com. Now, here are your hosts, Suzanne and Mark McKinney.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Suzanne, and I'm so excited to unveil the Money Nest to the world.
And I'm Mark, and yes, welcome to the Money Nest inaugural episode. Suzanne, let's let everybody know about the Money Nest and why it's so important.
Well, this has been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Oh, it's a terribly long time. It's something we've noticed almost seems like forever that we need to be able to describe to people about things to help improve their lives.
Where we've been, where we're going, and what our future holds. Everybody knows that money is the key factor to taking you through those different steps in your life. And if you don't respect your money's not going to respect you. You've got to know where you're headed. And money helps you with that.
And let's face it, money rules the world. You can't hide away from it. It's not going anywhere. I don't care if you have Samsung Pay, Apple Pay, or if you have old style cell phone pay. It don't matter. Money is going nowhere because money is going to, it's the backbone of society. We have to respect it because it's there to stay.
Absolutely. And we have to know that not only as parents, raising financially and fiscally responsible kids is a responsibility, but also as adults ourselves, we also have to know ourselves how to be responsible with our own money. Because how can you teach anybody about responsibility if you're not responsible yourself?
Let me ask you, when you were in school, how many hours did you spend in learning finances?
That's a funny question.
Exactly. I can laugh at the same thing. Now, our listeners, you ask yourself, how many hours did you spend in school learning about finances, taxes, even what a T4 slip if you live in Canada, or a W-2 if you live in the States, or whatever your slip is anywhere else in the world, that it's a remuneration of all your money earned and taxes paid on your job. Did you learn anything about taxes or how to balance a checkbook or anything of that familiarity? I bet you spent very little time or next to nothing or nothing at all.
Well, actually, if you remember, when our kids were younger, they would come home and they were talking about taxes in their textbooks. It was 1 or 2 classes in a semester, and that was about it. When I was in school umpteen years ago, we never had anything at all to do with finances. They never taught us anything. So a lot of what we've learned is from people telling us that, hey, you need to save money. You need to do this. You need to do that with your money. And if you actually stop and think about it, the people that were giving you the advice, did they actually have 2 cents to rub together? Oftentimes they didn't. They were more broke than you were.
So when you say umpteen years ago, was that after 30 or after 40 years?
Oh, gosh.
Okay, you don't have to say that.
That was a long time ago.
No, it's very important, guys, and you know it. We all know it. If you're of any age, you know that money is extremely important in our day-to-day routine and lives. And we're hoping the Money Nest will be exactly that place where you can come to the nest, sit down, relax, chill, maybe learn something you didn't know, or maybe help encourage you on doing something you haven't tried before. It could be, balancing a checkbook. It could be setting up a budget. It could be spending within your means. It could be maybe getting out of poverty. It could be going from the lower class, the middle class, to the upper class. We're not financial experts by no means, but we do have a lot of experience that we can pass along at that basic to intermediate level that is so important to cover the gaps that we didn't learn from our parents.
Let's face it, our parents probably didn't really know a lot themselves.
No, absolutely. And all the power to them. They probably raised us quite well, did everything they possibly could. But when it came to money, it just didn't happen.
Of course not.
So
we had to make it work for ourselves.
That's right.
And that's why we're at where we are today.
Yep. And maybe your parents, maybe your father helped you learn how to change brakes on a car, and your mother taught you other things or something, and maybe you're good at that, and that's fantastic. Maybe you can pass along your expertise in a book or in a podcast, YouTube channel, or whatever, or you teach your kids, your grandkids, and so on. But we have a certain knowledge that we thought we'd use the podcast medium to
Get
people
the word
more
out.
knowledgeable. Exactly.
Get the word out. Because, we've actually had a lot of clients here in our office recently that we've explained to them that we were getting ready to release the Money Nest. And they've been super excited about the avenues we're going to follow and the information that's going to come. And they're really hoping that there's going to be that little nugget of information hidden somewheres in one of our shows that is going to be very helpful to them. Because let's face it, not everybody was born with a silver spoon. A lot of us were born with no spoon.
And maybe you're a new listener, or maybe we've been around for, at this point, when you get to listen to this inaugural episode, maybe we've been around for 6 months, a year, or 5 years, or 10 years. Maybe we have 5 episodes or 30 episodes under our belt by the time you listen to this episode, because this inaugural episode is not going to go anywhere. It's always going to be there. So
just keep in mind, guys, don't forget, we are new to podcasting, and we are really hoping that we're going to be here for a long time. And if everything goes well, we're also anticipating that our content and the quality of our shows will improve as time goes on. Now, this episode really isn't intended to talk about anything specifically about finances, but it's more here to let everyone know what we are here for, the general topics that we're going to cover, and so on.
But why should we care?
The answer really is simple. Like Mark said earlier, money rules the world. There's no hiding from it. And you need to know how to appreciate money, understand credit, have a good working knowledge about your taxes. And if you're starting a business, what are the bare bones that you need to know to run that business? And there's so much more, because the list goes on and on and on.
So to summarize, we won't be focusing on money or taxes or starting a business. We're actually going to talk about things all over the spectrum and hit on a lot of topics that are applicable to some or most people at some point in their lives, if not every single day. Some podcasts or YouTube channels will hit on one specific topic, and that's great. But you know what? Money is our thing. It runs the world. So there is way too much to talk about to keep to a very specific topic. Hence the name of the show, The Money Nest. Not how to start a business or understanding taxes or something like that.
We've got over more than 50 years of combined experience in the tax and accounting world. We get a ton of questions each and every year, asking the most basic questions, and some of them are the same questions over and over. Now, we do have technology on our side today, and with podcasts becoming more and more popular, we thought that now is the right time to take your questions and turn that medium right back around and send the information right back out to you via the Money Nest.
To give you a little background and full disclosure, we are the owners of A1 Bookkeeping Services in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. But just because we live in Canada or located in a little city in the East Coast doesn't mean that our advice doesn't apply to you. Actually, they probably apply to wherever you are. They may just have to be molded in such a way for your jurisdiction or tax laws.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. Now, unless you live on a little island in the South Pacific with a population of 50, then most of what we have to pass along is going to apply to you, or at least maybe with a little tweak for your country or region.
As the show grows and we get more episodes under our belt and we learn more about podcasting, we hope to arrange them in categories on our website at themoneynest.com. Don't forget, it's themoneynest.com. And of course, you can listen to them on your favorite podcast player.
The Money Nest will never run out of topics because the discussion points are literally never ending. Now, with that said, this is where we're going to turn the tables on to you, our listeners. We want the show to grow based on what you want to hear. So, if you have questions or thoughts, we want to hear them. We're hoping to get your questions out and maybe have pieces of an episode that will have your stories hidden in them.
We know the biggest audience is the average Joe or Jane, who may want to make sure they're having the correct amount of deductions off their pay. What happens tax-wise when you have multiple jobs at the same time? Saving for retirement or even getting ready for retirement. Looking at starting a business and the critical aspects of making sure you head in the right direction. Maybe you have poor or unhealthy credit. Or maybe you're a parent with a teenage kid who may want to teach them good spending habits or have respect for money.
Lord knows there's a lot of teenagers out there that need that, for sure.
Absolutely.
There's so many of us that have learned pretty much nothing about money in school, about spending, how to get credit, or what taxes are. And you certainly can't count that class or two that you learned about in high school where they try to teach you a little bit about money. It's really a whole separate subject.
Don't get us wrong. We aren't saying that phys ed, science, language skills, and history aren't important. But really, what you're going to need more than anything is to know how to put these newly learned skills into play.
Of course, that's right, Mark. All are good, but money doesn't grow on trees, and we were never really taught how to respect money or how it can benefit us.
Considering some of the biggest causes of divorce, health problems, and suicide are money related. We don't need viruses and germs to take us down. Money issues alone will take care of that.
So many years have gone by that we've seen countless problems of people mishandling their cash, credit, loans, and interest rates that we feel that we've got so much to offer.
We practice what we preach ourselves.
And it's not too late.
It's never too late. It just depends on how deep of a hole you fell into, what your future holds in store for you, but most importantly, are you willing to do anything about it?
As the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal is to not talk over your head. We want to have a down-to-earth conversation about the do's and the don'ts. We even want to pass along stories from our listeners. Let us know your tricks and your tips, or tell us that little short story about how you've made things right for yourself. We would love to hear it. You can pass along your thoughts on our Facebook page at The Money Nest or on our website at themoneynest.com. Again, that's themoneynest.com.
As we go along, we're also hoping to have guest speakers in on a variety of topics, or maybe interviews of folks who had notable success stories and more. The topic of money doesn't have to be boring. It should be engaging. We're all not accountants or financial advisors, but you don't have to be. If we get into details that are beyond comprehending in a podcast, then we aren't doing our job correctly.
Now, this segment of The Money Nest has been brought to you by A1 Bookkeeping Services, where we specialize in bookkeeping for small business, personal and business tax returns, of course, all at an affordable rate. Do you need a bookkeeper? Give A1 Bookkeeping Services a call. You'll be glad you did. Check them out on Facebook or at a-1bookkeeping.com.
Well, Suzanne, I think we did a good job in this episode.
Me too.
We didn't go into detail on any topic as promised, but I think we provided a good overview as to where we're headed.
Yeah, for sure. I am so pumped to get the next episode up soon. Let's have some fun with this. Let's open up the line of communication between us all, and let's take back control of our own money. Let's get our money working for us, not us working for our money. Take care of yourselves, and thanks, guys, for listening.
This is Suzanne and Mark from The Money Nest.
Bye for now.
You've been listening to The Money Nest with your hosts, Suzanne and Mark McKinney, brought to you by A1 Bookkeeping Services. We're your source to help you become financially successful while assisting you in building for your future. For more information, visit us at themoneynest.com or send an email to info@themoneynest.com. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified when our next episode is released.